Honey, welcome back. It's Reggie time. Today, we're going to talk about this. I learned something in the last 7-8 weeks of this whole coronavirus thing. In order for it to disappear, we have to have two things living active in our life: empathy and compassion. So we decided today to talk about empathy and compassion. The Bible is really great. The Bible is really good at this because it says this in Luke chapter 10, verse number 27. So Jesus looked at a man and says, "What do you have to do to inherit the kingdom of God?" And the man answered him, and he answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." "You have answered correctly," Jesus replied. "Do this and you will live." Isn't that great? Do this and you will live. Dude, think about this. Every government in the entire world is saying if you care for other people during the course of this pandemic, you will live. It's like the Bible coming to life. But let's go on, because Jesus wants to teach us something today in this Reggie time. It says, "But he, the man, wanted to justify himself. So he asked Jesus, 'And who is my neighbor? Who is my neighbor?' And Jesus replied." Here's the story that Jesus told. A man was going down to Jerusalem from Jericho, and he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead and naked. Okay, now look, I just want to stop, because one, if you get beat up, it's okay. You just might have somebody who got some mad ninja skills. They might have just put a Bruce Lee on you, a Chuck Norris on you. There ain't nothing you can do about that. But when you get beat naked, you just got beat. All right, you had the beat down of your life. And that's what happened to this man. Watch this, verse 31. A priest, now this dude preaches. He's the preacher. He's the Reggies of the world. A priest happened to come upon the road, and when he saw the man, he passed on the other side. Now, what kind of preacher won't stop and help somebody? What kind of preacher is this? Let's keep going. So, later, a Levite, he came. Now, some of you like, what's a Levite? It's like the worship leader, the praise director. He's the guy singing up front. So the preacher who's preaching the word went by on the other side. Now the singer, they're loving people. They're artists. They're gonna stop. Now the Levite, he came up to the same place and passed on the other side. Oh, this brother didn't just get beat naked. Ain't nobody gonna help him. But then a Samaritan. What's a Samaritan? Who's a Samaritan? Here's what the definition of a Samaritan is: a common man, an ordinary guy who rises above the bigotry of his life to do what's right. A common man, an ordinary guy who rises above to do what's right. The Samaritan, he was traveling. He came by the man, and when he saw him, he had pity on him. What is pity? Compassion, empathy. That's pity. To put yourself in someone else's shoes, to care about someone, to hope for someone, to love someone. He had pity on him. When he had him, he gave him bandages for his wounds. He poured oil and wine. When he had made the man comfortable, he put him on his own donkey, and he took him to the inn, where he said the next day 2 pieces of meat. He gave 2 days' wages so that this man could be taken care of. And he said to the owner of the inn, "When I come back, I'll pay you the rest. Just take care of him." This is an incredible story, and it's perfect for us today. We have to care about our fellow man. We have to give hope to other people. We got to show love and kindness, mercy and grace. If we can't do that, then who are we? We have to show Jesus before anyone wants to hear about Jesus. That's what we must do. In schools, I always have this, and I love talking about empathy and compassion. One, I grew up in foster care. Somebody took me in their home. Why did that lady and her husband help me? I don't know, but they cared. They had empathy and compassion. They didn't know I would be the Reggie that's here today. They didn't know I would become who I am today. They just loved me and cared about me. I love that. One day, 3 days before Halloween, I walked in to Walmart, and I was just I just had to get what I had to get because I was thirsty and I didn't have no more bottled water. 3 days before Halloween, I get my water, I get up front. The one thing I hate about Walmart, and if you're from Australia, you don't understand. If you're from England, you may not have Walmart. It's the biggest grocery store. They got everything. You can get water and you can get a gun. In America, that's what you could do, you know what I'm saying? All the Americans are laughing right now. But this is what's crazy. When I got up front to the checkout lane, it was a long line. They had 28 checkout lanes and only one open. That's the one thing I don't like about that store. I was behind a mom and her 6-year-old son. When it was finally the mom's turn, she's putting her groceries on the belt. The cashier's checking her out. The little boy saw a sign. It said Halloween costumes, $6. And the boy went crazy. He was like, Mom, 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 you gotta get it. Mom, please, Mama, please. And the mom said, son, look behind me. See all these people. You gotta let me get all the groceries out of the cart so that we can pay for it and they can get their stuff. He goes, when I'm done, she said, when I'm done, you just have to just wait. And when I'm done, while the cashier finishes, you can ask me any question you want to ask me. So the boy stood there like a statue. When the mom finished, she turned around and looked at her son, and the mom was crying. She was crying so hard. The little boy said, Mama, what's wrong? The mom got on both knees, put her arms around her son and said, baby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is all the money we have. If I had $5, I'd buy you the costume, but I don't have it. And the little boy looked up and said, Mama, it's okay. I know we poor, but Mama, don't you ever forget, I'm Batman. You know what? I'm telling you, he hugged her, she stood up, turned around, paid for her groceries, putting her stuff in her cart. It was my turn. I put my water on the thing. She said to me, can I get you anything else? And it hit. In my mind, it hit. Something just snapped. Hey, look, you have to make yourself ready to snap. You have to be in the right place to hear God saying something to you. What did God say to me? I know it was God, because I don't like giving away my money. But all God said to me was, buy the costume. Get the boy the costume. You got $5. So I said to the lady, can you run over there to that costume rack and get me a Batman costume and put it in a separate bag, and I'll give it to that kid in the parking lot. She did that. When I got outside, I walked up to the lady and said, excuse me, you forgot a bag. When she looked down and saw the costume, she started crying. She said, why did you do that? I said, because your son, he's Batman. And she cried again. She got in her car and she left. I felt so good. But here's the deal. Something had to happen for me to do the story that I just told you. Number one, I had to be in this position or in the spot to care. The priest, the Levite, the preacher, and the singer was in the right spot to do something great for someone else. They were in the right spot to give somebody hope. They were in the right spot to show somebody love and mercy and grace. They were in that right spot, but they weren't there in their mind. We have to be there in our mind. That's why every day, get up and do something, Jesus. If it's these Reggie times, go back and re-listen to them. Do something in your mind to set yourself right so that during the day, you can actually hear something good and do something good. Hear something hopeful and do something hopeful. Hear something peaceful and become peace for someone's life. Come on, let me preach to you for a second. We have within us the ability to care for our fellow man, to give hope to our fellow man, to show love and kindness. All we have to do is have enough Jesus in us so that he comes out of us and we can change the world. I'm telling you right now, don't be the preacher, don't be the worship singer. Be the common man who rises above and does something great. That's our word for today. So let's go out this week and look for something great to do. You know, in schools, we have this thing called the 10 for 10 challenge. And it starts for us right now. Look at your clock. Look at your calendar. What day is it? From now to 10 days from now, everyone who watches this, you have one simple thing to do. The 10 for 10 challenge. Say it with me. Say 10 for 10 challenge. Let me explain what it is. Every day, starting today, before you put your head on your pillow tonight, you must find 10 random people to show an act of kindness, hope, and love using your words and actions only. It don't have to cost money. It could be, hey, nice shoes. Hey, nice eyebrows. Whatever you got to do to make this happen, you need to make this happen, because this is what's going to make the world a better place. So not just for one day. Tomorrow when you get up is day 2. After that, 3, 4, 5, all the way to day 10. For the next 10 days, everyone who's watching this must find 10 people to show an act of kindness, hope, and love to. If we do that, then we're not just taking Reggie time to the world. We're making the world a better place. This is Reggie time. Let's do this. 10 for 10 challenge starts right now. 10 people every day for the next 10 days. We can do it. If one person does it, 100 people know there's hope and love. But if we all do it, we're going to change the world. In Jesus' name. Peace.